still got all these to do. So this is actually a stem sound. I actually changed quite a lot. I just added like so many atmospheric effects. I used the blur effect in FL. Just thought I'd give an introduction to it, even though we're talking about mixing. But I feel like this is a good layer because the beginning is very atmospheric-y, and this kind of adds interest to it, rather than it just being a constant atmospheric effect. So that's why I put it in the intro group. So Vibe, Atmos, yeah, my names are great. So I'm actually going to solo this, just to demonstrate everything, and so you can really hear what I've done. So I'll leave that there, why not? So EQ, so adding the high end, so you can see the fundamental, even though this is an atmospheric effect, the fundamental is around here, and I thought, since it's an atmospheric effect, I thought I would just kind of boost the harmonics. Now boosting the harmonics will like make it stand out. So reverb, I actually added some reverb, I think. So that tail, when I stopped it, that's the extra reverb you're hearing. So yeah, it's reverb on reverb. This is more of a feel thing. So let's just A-B it. I think it's because it died out. I didn't like the way it died out so quickly. Yeah, so this is a more of a feel thing. Spark Verb's a really good reverb, by the way. I 100% recommend it. It sounds really high quality. I'll have that link in the description. So this was just to control the level. Like, it's really dynamic, so it kind of dies out into nothing almost. And then it can get quite loud, so I'm using it just to tame the dynamics rather than the transients or trying to reduce the dynamic range. I'm just trying to control the dynamic range. So yeah, compressors are amazing if you know how to use them. Which I will be going through. And there's so many more applications to compressors, and I don't think it's actually explained on YouTube, so I should probably do that. That should be my job. So this is an EQ. I'm going to quickly just show you how this works. So you got it's based off an analog EQ. So you got the Hertz range, and then you got the plus 4 dB here. And it's like separated into different groups. So nothing added here. I added 500 Hertz, 8K, and 15K. 15K, oh no, 500 being the most, 15K is second most, and then 8K I added the least. So let's A-B it. So again, like these API, I use this to open up the sound. Like I could always like try and test an API EQ just to see what it does. Like if I add maybe 1 or 2 dB, like that isn't that much. Like look how much I'm adding here. Like I'm adding 6 dB here, and adding 2 dB can, I feel like it can almost get the same effect. So yeah, I'm gonna link this in the description as well. Oh. So compressor. So yeah, you can see this is really heavily compressed. Again, this is just to help tame the dynamics again. Because I've boosted so much of the high ends to really open up the sound, it really goes, maybe goes a bit too overboard. So maybe that's something to do for next time for me. Because you really hear the compression and it kind of ruins it. So yeah, that's my mistake, and I recommend not to do that as well, because that's you kind of hear it kind of shaking. It sounds like the sound's struggling. So when you hear a sound struggling, you should know like you've gone too far, and here I've gone too far. So yeah, I'll admit to my mistake there. But also back here, like I said, there's also some side chaining. So I actually didn't sidechain this sound. Maybe because it's so quiet here, and I did fade it out. So that may be the reason for my mixing decision when I faded it out here, and this gets louder here. So drum atmosphere. See, I'm really trying to explain everything instead of just saying what I'm doing, because I feel like other YouTubers just say what they're doing and don't really fully explain it. So the drum, this is the stem loop. So to explain how I did this, I basically just took the stem and then just made it fade in and out with some reverb on it. That's part of the sound design, so that was in FL Studio, not in Ableton. But I guess we can talk about it. Just added some EQ for some high end, some compression, so might as well go through it. Since it's quite quiet, I'm just going to solo it, just for demonstration. That compressor's doing quite a lot. So yeah, this, because the fade in is so drastic, I basically just tamed that using the compressor. But it doesn't sound destroyed. That's why it's so heavily compressed. Even though the gain reduction meter's going crazy. Well, there's a lot of gain reduction. I guess this is to add more to the transients. So you just hear the transients more. But it's not anything drastic here, so it's not really doing much, so no need to worry about that one. So this is a stem sound. So yeah, a lot of the thing is that my problem with remixes is that I always do too much. Like it may not sound like a remix anymore. Like there's not really a chord sequence in this song. There's a small chord sequence halfway through, and I reharmonized the chord sequence and made it the intro. Like that's doesn't sound like an original. So yeah, this just fades in and out. I did that in the FL Studio. I just control the transients again. I like to control the transients just so it gives me a bit more headroom to play with, so I can actually turn it up at all at the end. So like this acts like as a layer to these parts. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, it's the next part. This is like these elements here just to add interest, because these are just chords. Even though they're like really interesting chords, this just adds another element of interest, and I needed to add stems to make it sound like a remix. So I just cut stuff up and then just placed them along here then I laid it with reverb. So you don't see much processing here because they're like the remix stems, they're processed already. So this part's going to be quite quick. Oh, so yeah, this one I just turned it down. So as you can see, like it isn't minus 10 dB, it's minus 3, just because, like I said earlier, I use minus 10 as a starting point and then make adjustments from there. But as long as I've still got headroom and I've still got headroom for mastering. So yeah, this is the intro part. Kind of play it again. You kind of hear how... So like I said, the mistake earlier is that the compressor sounds like it's struggling here. But overall, I think that's my only mistake here. I did make this like a year ago. But I still really like it. And it's not really noticeable. No one's really noticed it on SoundCloud. And this is my most popular remix / original, like all of my releases, this is my most popular one. So I thought I'd start off with this, explaining this remix. So yeah, let's get to the build. Cool. So that's the build. So I'm looking at... What did I do next? So... Right, I think I'm going to move on to that in the next video. But yeah, this one's quite long-winded. Oh, but I hope you learned a lot. I went through a lot. And remember, there's the free sample pack. You can also buy the project file. And yeah, in the next video, I'm going to explain the drop. And then I'll probably go to atmospheres and effects last. I just want to go through the main elements first. So yeah, the drop and the drums, because the drums are a big part of the drop. And they work hand in hand, so yeah. Did I miss anything? Alright. I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Antonio.
Hey.
Dude, there's people here and you're shopping for clothes.
Hello?
Hello?
Should we kill him?
Pig needs feeding.
Yeah, I'll feed it.
I'll just slice him once. I'll slice him once.
His boat's gone, ain't it?
Yeah, his boat's gone.
You missed me. You missed me.
As soon as he fired at you, I killed him.
You missed me. I was right next to him.